Hi, I'm Travis Wolfe Jr., and you're listening to Chasing Dreams with Amy J. Cool.
Hey, Dream Chasers, this is ABJ, and thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 216 of Chasing Dreams. Today's guest is someone I've been excited to have probably since last March or April, whenever we had the Fundathon. He crashed his dad's interview. I think they were at a Starbucks when we talked,
No, we
and
were at Ralph's.
it was at a Ralph's.
With a
It was
Ralph's.
like a coffee shop, right? Because he
Yeah,
basically was like, go get coffee.
they were right next to Starbucks.
Yeah. He was
Yeah.
like, go get coffee or something to come back in. And he is on the rise, guys. He is truly the definition of a dream chaser. And I'm so excited to have him here. His name is Travis Wolfe Jr. If you didn't catch it in the beginning, he is playing Dele Adebambo
Yes, ma'am.
on Bob Hart's Abishola, which has gone crazy with the people. It's on CBS Monday nights, 8:30, I think it is. 8 o'clock?
Yeah, you got it all. You got it perfect. You got it
It,
down to the
it
T.
was there, right? So,
Exactly.
and because I love the show, it's hilarious. And so his dad was on the show earlier, episode 104, Travis Wolfe Sr. And we had a great conversation. We've actually been good friends since then and keep in touch. And so when I saw how well you were doing, we talked about you being on the show during the Fundathon. I was so stoked that you guys found some time, were able to work me in. And that's because
Sure.
you're such a busy man, Travis. What's going on?
I mean, I stay busy, off and on with Bob Hart's. I was just recently on CBS lot to, shoot a little quick scene for Bob Hart's. This upcoming Wednesday, I'm going to go back. We're going to do our table read, our whole process throughout the whole week with Bob Hart's. So, just staying busy with that mainly.
Let's take it back though for everyone because you've been doing this for a bit, acting, working on this, right? And one of my favorite episodes of Bob Hart's actually just aired. It was The Canadians of Africa.
Oh,
And
yeah.
this was like a Dele episode. This was your episode to shine. And you did. And guys, I'll have the links on about Bob Hart's Abishalom where you can find it, right? It's on the CBS app. You can check it out there. But
Yeah.
in this episode, yeah, so spoilers, sorry. This is essentially the trouble and problem that children of immigrants have, the struggle they have when they have a dream that differs from that of their parents.
Exactly.
And you played it phenomenally. I mean, when you
Thanks.
played this, because I don't want to give it all away for everyone, did you see a little bit of yourself in Dele in that moment, in that episode? Or was it kind of you had a different experience when telling your parents your dreams versus what he had to go through?
I had a different experience than Dylan did because, my parents are very supportive. Anything I tell them I want to do, they just support me in it. I tell them I want to play sports. They're like, okay, let's play sports. I tell them I want to act. They're like, okay, let's act. I tell them I want to dance. They like, let's dance. So anything I do, they just support me. I'm lucky enough to have, some of the best parents you can get.
And for those who haven't watched or going to watch, I'll let you check out what Dele's reaction is and how he kind of handles that situation, which I can't say I would have done what he did, but I respect his approach, which was get an advocate, right? And try to get someone to help you follow and chase your dream. But
He's
when
very
you had your dream and you had supportive parents, how did you even come to them with, hey, this is something I want to do?
Well, at first I didn't know what I want. That's what I wanted to do. I was just listening to my sister tell my parents that she wanted to be an actor, and I just interjected and said I wanted to try it too, and I did it. I ended up loving it. My agent loved me. I was good at it, and ever since then I've been going hard. 6 years strong now.
6 years. That's crazy. So you're what, 13 now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So 13. So probably at the age of 7, you were like, hey, I want to do acting. And guys, his reel is incredible. He's been in music videos. He's done commercials. He's done TV shows. You're also on the Raven show,
Yes, Raven's home.
Raven's Home. And it's crazy how much you've done. So what I'm hearing is that this came naturally for you.
Um, yeah, just about did. I was just, a lot of things that I start doing, I'm pretty good at. I actually ended up booking my very first audition ever. So I guess I was just naturally gifted.
So when you did that and you kind of come upon this role for Dele,
Hmm.
a Nigerian boy, you have no accent. Like I'm not hearing it.
No, I don't usually walk around, just my family talking in a Nigerian accent. I'm from the East Coast, Philadelphia, so pretty sure not much of us have a Nigerian accent down there. But I had to develop it. I got hit up some people in Nigeria to help me out with it. Let me know if I'm saying the words right. Let me know if I have, the accent, like it actually sounds real. And, I just worked on it before the show started, and I guess it came out pretty well.
Was that important to you? Because we talked about your natural talent for auditioning and how it just kind of flows. It just kind of seems like it fits. But this is a little bit out of character because you had to learn an accent. Was that something that was important to you? I mean, clearly it's a part of the character, but did you think you would be able to book the role if you didn't?
To be honest, I don't think I would have been able to book the role. It was very important to me because, it was such a big role and, it was really a challenge. I've never tried to do an accent, not even, a lot of people have an English accent that they like to do just for fun. I've never tried it. So having to skip the English accent, going straight to an African Nigerian accent, I was a little bit nervous, especially, only having a week before the big audition with all the great producers to, show off my accent and my acting. I was a tiny bit nervous, but once I got in that room, I got over my nerves and I did the accent. I did my lines. They loved it, and a couple days later, I got the call.
So you get the call and you've now what, probably like, I think 8 episodes or something like that has aired. I could be wrong on the number, but
Something around there.
something like that, right? And you're in this routine of learning your lines, acting, doing table reads. You're kind of in this process, which is, I guess, the life of a kid actor. What else is it though that differentiates? Because a lot of people looking on from the outside are like, hey, I want to be an actor. But do you think they really get the full breadth of what it takes to be an actor or actress?
I don't think they really know
Mhm.
what actually happens. I mean, nowadays there's a lot of reports on what actually happens behind the scenes. There's YouTube videos on it, but it's not just you go to an audition, you book it, you wake up, you drive to your job, and you do it. There's a lot of preparation, not just from the actors, but from the producers down to the people that do the lighting, down to the writers. Everybody as a group are doing this job, and it's just a lot of dedication because I'm a late body. I go to bed at like 2, wake up at like 1. I just like to sleep in. So
Wow.
with when I have to go to set, my whole sleeping schedule changes. I have to go to bed at 10 and like to wake up at 6. So it's there's a lot of sacrifice in it, but if you really love it, it won't feel like a job.
Now, are you only doing acting? Do you have to do schooling at all? Or is that something
I
you can get away with?
I do have to do school, with most of my time being on Warner Brothers lot. They have to bring a teacher in. We have our own little room to the side where, we pull up my computer, we do some schoolwork on there. You might bring some worksheets for me to do. So I do have to do a certain amount of schooling every single day. It has to be at least a minimum of an hour of school every single day. So actually 2 hours of school. No, 3 hours of school. My mom's telling
Wow.
me
I was like, that number's changing. That 3 hours. Wow.
3 hours.
That's intense. That, I
It
mean,
is.
and I don't think people realize that because I think they think, hey, he just goes, he acts, and that's it. He goes home. But you're saying you got to do schoolwork on top of that?
Yeah, sometimes I actually don't really have to be there at, well, let's say my call time is 8:30. I
Mhm.
really don't have to be there at that time. They don't need me, but I have to go early to get my schoolwork out the way,
Oh.
then so I can shoot, and then I can go home. And sometimes even after I'm done shooting, I have to go back to school and still, finish out my last couple hours. So,
Now you've done different roles, right? You've done commercials, you've done music videos, you've done guest starring roles, right? And now here you are, a co-star in a TV show on a primetime network. What it seems like you've kind of gone through this evolution of roles. What has that been like? Do you think that you would have been okay if you just jumped from one to the other, or have you learned something from each of these different experiences?
I've learned something from each different experience, looking back when I was, just in a little starting off, I used to do some small commercials here and there, maybe a student film. You really have to go through that experience to really know how the set works. It's like each role you book is like another level. Like the first level is the commercials. So now you can look around, you can see how everything goes, see how the director interacts with the cast, really get the feel of how it is to be on set. And then you go and let's say book a student film. Now you learn what it's like to have a big role and the work that goes into it. Then you book a guest star and you book a co-star, and then now you're on CBS. So, you really have to do all those little smaller things to really get the gist of how everything works. And then, start going into the bigger leagues.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear you say that because I think so many people are looking for that fast break, that one quick make. And granted, you were able to book your first audition. You booked this role, right, immediately. But I think to hear that you you aren't an overnight success. You've worked hard for your success. And I think that's important for people to hear, especially those listening in, that you've been here a bit. You put 7 years into this role, into getting to here, to this position. And, it's actually really cool because your family, I'm a big fan of your family because the Wolf Pack, you guys are the epitome of chasing dreams, right? Your sister, who I hope to have on the show next month, I think it is, on the show. And your dad speaking, your mom helping you guys, and that's a job in itself, right? With all of these things. And you're being exposed to all these experiences. And even on the set, you're learning and seeing all these different roles. Do you see yourself doing something outside of acting down the road?
Yes, I've been telling a lot of people lately that I've been wanting to, start stand-up comedy. Mr. Billy Gardell, I consider one of my mentors. He doesn't just do the acting. He goes on tour. Does his little stand-up comedy. It's some of the funniest stuff you'll ever hear. It's I really look up to him. It's like everything he does. I want to try because maybe he's so successful. I mean, obviously he's doing something right. So I want to try to mimic that.
Yeah, for guys, if you don't know, Billy plays Bob on Bob Hart's Abishola. He was also Mike on Mike and Molly.
Yeah.
Great, great show also. Should check that out. And yeah, I think that's a great role model for you to kind of mimic with what he's doing. Are there other comedians that you kind of aspire to be?
Well, I try to, like what people say nowadays, stay in my lane, I try to be my own person. It doesn't hurt to take some things from other people. But some of the people I idolize, look up to, try to learn from is Kevin Hart. I mean, everybody says that, but it's true. That man is definitely one of the funniest men on earth right now. Just listening to him talk is funny. Like just the things he says, like he has no filter at all. It's the funniest stuff. But Will Ferrell, I love him too. Definitely in my top three. And let's see, Will Smith, he's a really well rounded actor. He doesn't just do the serious movie roles. He also does comedy. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, that was a sitcom. So
Yeah, you guys do have that Philly background.
yeah, we do. A lot of talent coming out of Philly right now.
Yeah, there is a lot of talent. Kevin Hart's from Philly.
Yes, he is. Kevin
Right?
Hart and Will Smith.
Yeah, so got that Philly connection going on. And those are some great people to aspire to. But I love that you said, you take a
Yeah,
little bit from each person, right? But still be yourself because I think you as yourself, and it's something we tell you guys as you chase your dreams, you got to be you, right? You don't want to copy Will Smith. We don't want to copy Kevin Hart. We want Travis Wolfe Jr. We want him to see what he can bring because it's your talent, your experiences is going to make us laugh.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you got a lot of talent, man, because
Oh, thank you.
your comedic timing and your physical comedy and your dancing, which you highlighted in that last episode of Bob Hart's Abishola, top notch. Like
Oh,
you
thank
could be multi-talent. I mean, you're multi-talented, so it wouldn't surprise me to see you do stand up and then try something else. I think Will Smith even said, I forget, I think it was Red Table Talk or some other interview that he said, stand up is one of the scariest things for him. And so, for you to take that challenge would be interesting to see. I mean, Kevin Hart's conquered stand up, but he
you. Oh,
worked for it. He worked for it just like you are.
yeah, it's definitely a lot different from comedic acting per se, because then it's just you and then there's a crowd and it's your job to make them laugh, and if you don't, you're not doing your job. And I hate not living up to expectations, so it's definitely going to be a challenge, but we'll see how it goes. My first time doing it, we'll see.
Hey guys, I did a disservice. Let me correct it now. This episode is airing during Black History Month, and Travis is one of my spotlight guests for Black History Month that I wanted to recognize because I think he's a star of the future. He's a star currently, but I think he's a star of the future and a great role model for us to see and watch as he kind of goes further. And so Travis, thank you for saying yes when I asked you to be on the show for this month in
Thank you for
particular. So
inviting me on.
yeah, I wanted to make sure I said that. Um, one thing I had a question about, now that you're on the show, a lot of people have these misconceptions, so let's clear it up now. Can you sit back and relax? Is that it? Are you coasting on Bob Hart's Abishola, or is other stuff happening?
I mean, even though I have a pretty big role in Bob Hearts, I'm still auditioning here and there. The grind never stops. According to my contract, I can't, take on other series regular roles,
Mhm.
but, I can be a guest star, maybe do a commercial for, a national commercial, or maybe do a little guest star at Raven's Home, I can still do stuff, but, I do get my little time to relax with my friends. I just went out with them recently. I like to play video games. So, just probably after I get done here, probably going to go get on the game, have some fun with my online friends. So, I do get a break, but, I'm still working here and there, even when I'm not on Bob Hearts.
You guys hear that? He is available for guest stars and other
Uh,
things. He can't do a regular, but he can be on your show. So call
exactly.
him.
Please
Call
do.
him. What part of the acting process do you enjoy the most? Because it sounds like you've done every part so far.
That it would definitely have to be interacting with other people, the relationships you build. Because, you can't just arrive onto a set and, see people, then you go onto camera and then you just act with each other. You really have to build up that chemistry, really, really connect with each other, because it won't seem real if you don't have a real relationship. So, I love to, talk with my cast, so I talk with the cast, talk with my set family, because, it really brings us together. And then, I have some friends, some mentors I have on the side that also are on camera with me. We all feel comfortable. We all feel like we're a family, and it shows on the camera.
So who have you not acted with currently on Bob Hart's Abishola that you would like to have a scene with?
I haven't had a scene with Bob's family yet. I've yet
Well, that's
to
true.
be in a scene with them. So I think a scene with all of us could be pretty fun. Maybe my mom brings me over while she's taking care of Dottie. Maybe they're watching me while she does her job. I mean, we'll see though. We'll see.
That I'm already cracking up at the possibilities of how
I
this would
know.
turn out,
Yeah,
right?
me
Because
too.
we've seen your mom's aunt and uncle already interacting with the family and how that's turned out,
Oh
right?
yeah.
In those conversations. So can only imagine. Is is directing or writing in your future, do you think, right now? I mean, it could change down the road, but at this moment,
I mean, I have been thinking about it because Mario Van Peebles, Mr. Mario,
wow.
I went to a screening for one of his films,
Hmm.
and I had a chance to have a conversation with him. And, he gave me a piece of advice, and he told me to learn how to be my own boss, learn how to direct, write, produce, learn how to do everything, so that way you work for yourself and you control the tempo, you control everything that happens. So, I have been thinking about it ever since he brought that idea to my mind.
Has watching your sister direct and grow as a director influenced you in any way?
It has, having someone else that has set experience, it's a really good perk, because, whenever I have a question about maybe how I should act and how she feels, how this looks to her as a director, it really helps me out, and, really shows me that if I ever really need help and I want to maybe start directing, I have someone there that can just teach me on the spot. So, I really appreciate having her around. She is someone I look up to.
What's it like having a family that is so supportive of you, right? From your dad to your mom to your sisters, both of them. Like, what does that feel like?
I mean, it's great, because knowing that I always have people that will be there no matter what. Because, maybe something happens where okay, this will never happen. I want to try to stay positive, optimistic, but maybe something happens on the road where I might not have the money that my career might start going slow. I might run out of money. Then everybody just appears on me. They just go ghost. It's really great to know that I have people that will be there no matter how much money I have or how many jobs I book. So it's a really good feeling. It's a really good feeling.
So that's a great point you make, and how people may ghost you when things aren't going well, right? When you have a support system that is there through the good and the bad. So I'm curious, how does your family keep you humble?
They just remind me, sometimes I get ahead of myself, get a little big head, because, being such a young kid with, such a big role in the industry, and, having financial freedom, being able to buy whatever I want. Sometimes I get ahead of myself. I say things that, aren't the let's see, how do I say this? I don't think this is the word, but the humblest of things.
Hmm.
You know, they let me know, like, listen, you're no better than anybody else. No matter how much money you make, no matter how many jobs you book, you're still a human being. You're still just like everybody else. You walk around, you talk, you talk to other people, just like everybody else. So don't get ahead of yourself just because you're higher on the status ranking.
It's important to have those kinds of people who will bring you back down. I thought you were going to say something like they got me extra chores or something like that.
They do have me working around the house. They keep me busy, off and on the camera.
Yeah, it's one of those things where doesn't matter where you are, right? Family will always keep you grounded.
hmm That's it's really big to have. It's really important to have a good family, good support system behind you.
So you and your family transplanted yourselves from Philadelphia to LA. In fact, I think I interviewed your dad while half of you were in LA and he was still back in Philadelphia. I believe that's kind of the time when we actually spoke. And so I'm curious, was that was that a necessary move, you think, or do you think you could have been successful if you guys had stayed in Philadelphia? Was that something you had to do?
Well, I do feel like to get to the next level, it is mandatory to move somewhere, like Atlanta or LA, just because of the fact, Philadelphia or places on the East Coast are, not really big or known for, you know, TV necessarily. I used to do some small commercials out there. Like my very first audition was out there on the East Coast, but a lot of the bigger roles, they host bigger auditions out here in Atlanta and LA. So I do feel like it's pretty mandatory.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that your family is willing to like uproot all of you to move to a whole nother coast
Yeah.
is amazing and awesome and really a testament to the support system that you have. I'm curious, do you guys get to come back to Philadelphia or do you come back?
Oh yeah, we come back pretty frequently. Frequently, I actually just recently came back to do a media tour for giving back to my community, let them know like I haven't forgot about you guys. I'm from here. I'll always be from here. I always support you guys. So I like to come back, once in a while just to say hi. My family, we're actually going to come out there pretty soon to do a little conference, for everybody. So yeah, we like to get back to our community, come back once in a
Can
while.
you talk a little bit about the conference you guys are putting on?
Wow. It's a surprise. So I,
Oh,
I can't talk a little too much about it. Can't go into detail.
okay.
We'll be bringing one out there.
All right. So, well, guys, clearly what that means is you got to keep in touch with Travis, follow him on the socials, on the website, see what's going on so you can find out what the surprise is. Very
Mhm.
exciting to hear though. Yeah. So definitely pay attention for that. So let me ask you one of the questions that are probably pretty stereotypical, but I think the viewers and listeners are pretty curious about this. On your bucket list, your dream bucket list, being to an actor and actress you would love to work with.
Wow, you put
And
me on the spot
I'm
there.
I'm gonna say, I know I'm gonna make it worse. You can't say Will Smith, Kevin Hart, or Will Ferrell because I think it's almost guaranteed that you would want to dance. Why wouldn't you want to work with them? You
Oh,
idolize them. Of course you'd want to.
oh shoot.
I know. I made it more.
Really good actors.
The
Um,
options are so great.
well, definitely would have to be Denzel. One of the greatest of all time. Would have to be him. I would hate to, retire from my acting career without getting a chance to work with that man. Just such a great inspiration. He's an inspiration. He's been doing this for what, like 40 years now. Like he's been in the game for probably one of the longest. How do I say this? Probably one of the. Uh,
Longest
I,
running?
not, I'm gonna say probably one of the. Okay, I'm just gonna forget this. Let's just move on. But definitely Denzel. Yeah, he's a great actor. I don't know what I was trying to say there. But now a female, an actress.
Well, while you're thinking of that,
Yeah,
I think Denzel was a great choice. I mean,
yeah, yeah.
classic choice.
Got you.
Absolutely. So
Um,
female?
Tiffany Haddish for sure.
Really?
Yes, I
All
love
right.
her. She's one of the funniest females out here right now. Just she's just like Kevin. Just listening to her talk is just hilarious. So definitely Tiffany and Denzel.
You know, Tiffany has an amazing story too for how hard she worked to scrape by to make where she is today. Do you have a favorite movie that she's made?
Probably A Night School.
Yeah, that
That's,
was hilarious.
that was a really good
That
movie.
was hilarious. I
Yeah,
want to see her new movie. I haven't had a chance to do that.
I haven't either.
Yeah, I've heard it was hilarious though, so I do want to see that one to see what it's like, if it's anything of what you expect it to be, right?
Hmm.
So Travis, let me ask you for the people who are listening, a lot of them are people who are chasing their dreams, people who are struggling to figure out what it is they want to do. You sound like you knew what you wanted and you went after it. But if you found yourself at a crossroads and someone said, hey, you can't act, what will we find you doing? Any thoughts?
Probably have me back at dancing, focusing on that, or, starting to do some sports. I like to play. I play really all sports except for soccer, baseball, football, basketball. I like to stay active. So, I'll probably be dancing, trying to get my dancing career up and out there, but yeah, I don't know what I would do without acting, to be honest. I mean, I can't imagine a life without it.
That is fantastic. I mean, not being able to act part, but the fact that you love
Yeah,
this
yeah,
so much,
yeah,
right? That
yeah.
you can't see yourself doing anything but this, which I mean, that's great because a lot of people are passionate about something and then feel that it's work. Does this feel like work for you?
No, when I hear I'm able, because sometimes I'm not able. I mean, I don't get booked for Bob Hearts. There's some episodes I'm not in, so some weeks I don't work. And it was actually a pretty long period where I wasn't working on Bob Hearts for 2 months. So
Okay.
during that time, I was a little down. But when I finally get that call, like, listen, we need you for another episode. I just light up. I don't care about the sleep schedule change. I don't care about how early I have to wake up, how late I have to go to bed. I'm just excited to be there. It's just what I love to do. So it feels like I'm going to go have fun.
Do you see yourself, like we talked earlier about you seeing yourself in Dele and the differences there are, but it seems like you bring your personality into him, even though you're very stoic as Dele, and here you're not stoic. But is it does it feel like you're acting when you become him for the show?
No, not really. Because of the fact when I used to live in Philadelphia, I was kind of like him, kind of like the little shy kid. I had a couple friends back in Philly, but we used to just chill. We didn't do crazy things. So I do kind of relate to him in a way because we're both very positive. We like to, we like what we like, and we like to chase our dreams, even if it means we have to do things, that maybe we don't want to do, but to get to where we want to be, we'll really do anything. So I do kind of relate to him.
So Travis, what is something that is less than pleasant about being an actor? Because we want to give some balance, we've talked all about the good qualities, but what is something that's kind of, hey, be mindful of this. Maybe it's long hours, maybe it's not all so beds and roses. What is something you would mention?
Well, there like you said, there are a lot of positive sides to being an actor, but there's also a lot of negatives because just the people you hang around. You need to watch you hang around because some people they might pretend to be your friend, they might pretend to genuinely like you, not just because of who you are, but really they just want to bring you down because you're doing your thing and they might not be where they want to be in their life at the moment, and they want to bring you down. So you got to be careful, really watch the people you hang around. It's good to hang around other people that are doing what you're doing because that way, there's no jealousy. Everyone's doing their own thing. Everybody's happy. So, that's probably one of the biggest downsides.
That's awesome. Oh, well, it's not awesome that it's there, but as an awareness for you guys, it's awesome to hear. Um, One question before we get to the 5 questions that we ask. Uh, are you familiar with hashtag booked by any chance on Instagram?
I am, yes.
They are friggin' hilarious. I would love to see, I'm just going to put it out in the world. I would love to see a collaboration with you guys just to kind of show the behind the scenes of what that is. Because
Yeah, they're
you
super
do a
fun.
great job and they do a great job, so I'm gonna put that out in the world if it's possible for you
Yeah,
guys to do a collaboration.
let's do it.
Yeah. All right, Travis, before I let you go, I got to ask the questions. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right. We're randomly going to pick 5 questions to get to know you just a little bit better than we have already. All right. Number 1, who would you pick as the kindest celebrity of the year?
Now, just people, like any celebrity or just people that I've
I
met?
will let you decide how to answer that. Could be people you've run into or someone you've kind of got an impression of.
Kind of celebrity, well, I'm going to do some people that I met because, I don't really know what some people are,
Sure.
behind the scenes, but definitely Billy Gardell. I mean, that man, he's such a great guy. Whenever I need help, he lets me know I could come to him, gives me tips during our scenes together. He even gave me the honor of being able to call him at any time if I have any questions or if I just want to, run some lines. I have an aunt that really, really loves that man, and she wanted to go see one of his shows. So I asked him if he could bring her out and meet her, and he did it. I mean, just super nice guy, definitely kind of celebrity of the year.
Oh, that's awesome. It's good to hear that some of the actors are nice guys like that.
Yeah, there's some
Uh,
good.
all right, so no pressure. What's the best meal your mom cooks? There's no pressure. His mom's
There's a
behind the
lot of
camera.
good ones. I really like her curry and spaghetti, but if I had to choose between the two, probably her spaghetti.
All
Yeah,
right.
spaghetti's one of my favorite meals, and it's honestly because of her. So, yeah.
High praise. High praise. If you could have a lifetime subscription to any publication, which would you choose?
What's the
So it's
publication?
like a magazine or CDs or something like that.
I don't know. I'm not really much of a reader, but probably some type of sports magazine.
Okay.
I like sports. Yeah.
Got stuck cards. Um, who would you choose to play the main character in a movie of your life?
Main character of my life. Okay. Ooh, um, let's see. Probably Isaac Ryan Brown. I really I had the honor of being able to meet that kid, and I see myself with him. He loves to joke around. He loves to play. Loves to play sports. He's just like me. So we kind of are the same person. It's probably Isaac Ryan Brown. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. What's your biggest pet peeve?
I don't like when people repeat themselves to me. It's just makes me super angry. I don't know why. My mom hates being tapped. I don't get it. And I hate being told, I don't mind being told what to do, but I don't like it when you say it over and over again, even when I'm doing it, kind of just gets me a little upset. That's probably my biggest pet
I will keep that in mind.
peeve.
All right, last question. What are your favorite apps?
Apps. Probably, um, you know, have you ever heard of like the little scheme of the little apps that they make you down? Like you download one app, then they advertise another game, and then you
Yeah.
download that app. It keeps going on and on and on.
Yeah.
I have like 50 games on my phone just from that whole.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like app download scheme. So probably I like those little games like those.
That is fantastic. Travis, I appreciate you being on here. How can these guys connect with you if they want to get to know you better and want to connect?
Well, if they want to contact me, you can DM me on any platform, Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. They're all at Travis Wolfe Jr. So that's where you can, keep up with me, see what I'm doing, or if you just want to ask me a question, I'll probably answer. That's probably where you can DM me. But mostly Instagram is where I check my messages.
Any website we can check out?
No, not at the moment. I do not have a website yet.
Okay. So last thing I got to ask you, what is one thing you would tell people who are chasing their dreams to do today to make progress?
Keep going. There's going to be a lot of people that tell you no, that say you can't do it. But if I listened to those people, I wouldn't be where I am now. I mean, everybody says it, but that's because it's true. You've got to keep going through thick and thin, even if things seem down for a little bit. I had a 6-month period where I didn't get any auditions, no jobs, no anything. But, I kept going, kept trying, kept asking God to give me an opportunity, and he gave it to me. So you got to keep going, stay faithful, and, I'll get there.
I love it. I love it. Travis, thank you so much. Guys, be sure to check out Bob Hart's Abishola. Follow Travis. Keep an eye on him. You're going to see him more in the future. And if you want any of the links and to learn more about Travis, you can find it all at the show notes page over at amyj21.com episode 216. That's episode 216. Travis, thanks again. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
All right, guys, until next time, keep chasing.